everyone. So I finally got myself a HTC kiln. I've done a couple of firings in this already and I'm really happy with the results. So this is the control ring that's part of the kit, and I had a little bit of an issue with it because it was not stable on my burner. So what I had to do is add two small balls of clay like this on the burner or on this particular stand, and then I placed the control ring on top of it and just gave it a bit of a press, and this helped it become more stable. It solved my issue right away. So it was a really quick solution to it. So these are the other parts of the kiln. This is the kiln chamber with its lid, and there's a cigar vessel with its lid. So this is it. These were the components that were part of the kit: the cigar vessel, the lid, the kiln chamber with its lid, and the control ring. This is a bag of wooden scraps that I got from the carpenter close by. He was kind enough to give it to me for free of cost. So these are the pieces that are dried and ready to be fired. These beads are already bisque fired once in an electric kiln, but I wanted these fired black. So I thought, let me put it again with this particular batch. So let's start loading this particular vessel. I start with a layer of wooden scraps at the base, and then add the beads first. Basically, it's the smaller pieces that go in first, and then the bigger pieces. And after that, I add another layer of sawdust or wooden scraps on top. Add a couple of more pieces, then again one more layer. I just repeat the process till all the pieces are inside the vessel, and then finally I top it off with a last final layer of wooden scraps and then close this particular vessel's lid. I place the kiln chamber over the control ring and then the cigar vessel inside, and cover the kiln chamber. So this is the kiln chamber. I put the vessel inside, loaded with all of the pieces, making sure it's also closed. Then I cover the kiln chamber as well, and I switch on the flame. So going by the instructions of the usage of this particular kiln, it's 45 minutes on sim, 30 minutes on medium, and 30 minutes on high flame. So I'll just repeat that. It's 45 minutes on sim, 30 minutes on medium flame, and 30 minutes on high flame. So once it's completed, I leave it to cool for at least 2 hours before I open the kiln, and it usually comes, it's still a little warm, but it's easy to handle. It's just lightly warm, but it still is quite, I'm able to hold it with my bare hands. And if you see, it's all beautifully done. So I just transfer all of it onto a sheet of newspaper, because it still would carry a lot of these fine particles, fine dust. And for these beads and smaller jewelry components, I just use a strainer. It just helps me get rid of all that, all that finer dust particles quickly. And then this is something that I always do. I always wash the pieces very well. It's very necessary because there's a lot of black soot that can get stuck in the pieces, and that can really affect, rather mess up all your work while painting. So I just use an old toothbrush and really clean it up. Just dipping it in water like this wouldn't help. You just need a nice, like any old toothbrush really would work. Just give it a nice brush like this, and making sure all of that finer dust particles are removed, and then you just end up with a really clean, beautiful piece. And final wash after that brushing is done, and then you just leave it to dry. So you see how much of that dust gets stuck in all those carvings and all that in this particular one. If you see, so all that gets eliminated when you give it a good wash. And here all the pieces are clean, dried, and just look so beautiful. And see, even those beads have been beautifully fired.